Dear students, I welcome you all in the new semester and in my class of CIS2169 Web Application Development. This video lecture is on module overview, and the purpose is to explain the module overview, learning outcomes, intended skills, hardware and software required in this module, how the lecture, seminar and tutorial will be organized, what is the goal of this module, the topics you will be learning in a week-wise manner, how the module will be organized, that is the structure of this module, because 3-hour session is given for this module. Every week 3-hour session is given for CIS2169, and the assessments, how the module will be assessed. So in order to explain all these things, I have given all these points as an outline in the next slide. So as I said, module overview will be covered in this session. Learning outcomes, intended skills, hardware and software required for this module, lecture, seminar and tutorial, how these things will be organized in this module, what is the goal, topics which we will be covered in a week-wise manner, structure of this module, how the 3 hours will be divided, and what are the assessments given for this module. So we will be discussing all these points one by one in this session. And I will start with module overview, which is given in the next slide. As far as the module overview is concerned, this module, that is Web Application Development module, is created based on the modules you have completed in semester 1 of web modules, and it is aligned closely with server client side scripting module. So it is extension of the earlier web modules, and it is mostly related to what you have done in server and client side scripting module. In this module, 3 learning outcomes will be assessed, and the 3 learning outcomes are: the first learning outcome is this, second learning outcome is this, and third learning outcome is listed here. So the first learning outcome says that demonstrate critical understanding of the fundamental models for structuring web application. And coursework 1 is given to assess this learning outcome. This learning outcome says that you are going to develop some models, software engineering models, software models, and these models you are going to use for creating a web application. I will explain all these learning outcomes in detail in the coming slides. Now, the second learning outcome says that demonstrate the ability to work on shared code base. And in order to assess this learning outcome, coursework 1 is given and coursework 2. In both the coursework, this learning outcome will be assessed. So what you are going to do to complete or to achieve this learning outcome, you are going to use version control mechanism. You will be using patterns, software patterns, and you are using code review to complete or to achieve learning outcome 2. So these topics are covered in week number 6, 7 and 8. And the third learning outcome is demonstrate an understanding of the process and the ability to deploy an application to a server. So what you are going to do to achieve this learning outcome? Learning outcome 1 will help you to understand the requirement of the system. Then based on the requirement, what you will do, you will create the design, that is model. You will develop models or the design. Then these models you will use to develop your app, web app. And in order to develop this web app, we are going to use version control, we are going to use pattern, and we are going to use code review. And then once the app is ready and it is working successfully on your system, on your personal computer, then the aim is to run it on the server. And in order to run this app on the server, what you will do, you will apply deployment method or mechanism to run it on the server. So you are running the app, web app, on the server. This is what you are going to achieve starting from this point and ending at this point. And if you will complete this whole process, whole task successfully, then you can say that you have completed coursework 1, coursework 2, and you have achieved these 3 learning outcomes. What are the intended skills you can develop at the end of this module are listed here. So on successful completion of this module, it is intended that the student will acquire developing skills in the following area. Use source code management. Source code management can be done using version control, code review, you can apply these methods to do this. Use UML models. UML is unified modeling language. You can use this for creating the software engineering design models. So these are the models can be created or designed using UML modeling tools. So at the end of this semester, you can say that you know how to create different models using UML modeling tools. Then automated code deployment tools, you will be knowing how to deploy, you will be knowing the answer of how to deploy an app on the server. So the answer of this question you will be knowing at the end of this semester. And the last intended skill is project management techniques. So in the very first lecture, I will be covering this. What are the project management models? So the first week session will be dedicated on this skill. So these are the different skills, and it is intended that at the end of this module, you will develop these skills for a web-based project development or software engineering product project development. What you will be doing in this module is covered in the next slide. So in this module, theoretical aspects of the model, you will learn theoretical concepts. Then you will use UML, Unified Modeling Language, for converting your theoretical understanding in the form of model. So you will represent your understanding in the form of diagram, and for designing the models, you will use UML tools. Then these models will be converted in the form of programming code for web application. Then in the practical aspects, what you will do, you will develop your application using some programming language, and then you will deploy your application, you will complete the development in the practical aspects, and then once the development process is completed, you will deploy your application on the server. So these are the different activities you are going to perform over in the next 11 weeks in this module. For completing the exercise and weekly task and coursework, you need hardware and software. As far as the hardware is concerned, you need a working computer or PC with latest configuration. You will be provided a bootable pen drive with Linux to work on, and I think you all have pen drive, and you will use pen drive to complete the exercise, tutorial and coursework, and you will be shared some software for completing any specific topics in this module. This module will run in online as well as in face-to-face manner. The date and time for online session is this, and the date and time for face-to-face session is this. So online session will be on Wednesday 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. and face-to-face session, tutorial session will be on Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. The goal of this module is to cover both theoretical as well as practical aspects. These are the things which you will learn in theories, and then these topics will be converted to complete practical aspects in this module. In the next 2 slides, I have given the topics which we will cover in a week-wise manner. So in the first week, as I said earlier, the first week topic is project management. In the second week, UML model for use case diagram. This is one of the diagram. UML diagram consists of 9 different models. So this is one of the model which we will cover in the week number 2. Week number 3, we will discuss another model which is called as class diagram. Week number 4 is for activity diagram. In week number 5, version control for the code management and for development of the application from the repository. Then code review will be covered in week number 6. Week number 7 is for software patterns. Week number 8 is for server configuration. Week number 9, application deployment. So once the application will be ready in week number 8, you will be in a position to deploy your application on the server so that you can run it. Adding security in your application will be covered in week number 10, and week number 11 is dedicated for continuous integration. And week number 12, in week number 12, it is expected that you will submit your coursework too. The structure of this module is given here. So I will be covering feedback, lecture and tutorial or practical session in 3-hour session every week. In feedback, I will spend 15 to 30 minutes to provide the feedback on your weekly task. In lecture, pre-recorded video lecture will be shared. It will be 1-hour session, and the purpose is to cover theories, ideas and concepts. And then in practical session or tutorial session, 2-hour session will be there. You will implement, you will work on practical exercise and code for your task. So this is how 3-hour session will be divided every week. Then the assessment, there will be 2 assessments given for this module, and it is called as coursework 1 and coursework 2. Coursework 1, the weightage is 20%. Coursework 2, the weightage is 80%. It is portfolio based task. You will work on the task individually. You will submit the task through Blackboard on a weekly basis. Auto marking will be applied and marks and feedback will be shared. In this, learning outcome 1 and learning outcome 2 will be shared. Here you will develop a build and you will prepare a report. It is individual coursework. You will work independently, and in this, learning outcome 2 and 3 will be assessed. So that's all in the module overview. Thank you very much.